Well, Terry, we're into day 3 of the Team Canada selection camp. There's been some good competition. How does this camp differ from some of the other camps that you've seen?
Well, I think it differs in several ways. One, it's the most populated with 42 players. And I think there's more questions to this camp than most camps, just simply because arguably 6 of Canada's best World Junior Championship eligible players are in the National Hockey League, led by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who was a cut at this camp last year, and right down through the list. That's left them with a serious shortage of center icemen and some major questions about toughness, and hence the extra players there. But then all of a sudden they come to camp, and Jonathan Huberdeau's wearing a plastic foot cast, and they lose a player with mononucleosis, and stuff's happening to Canada. And to any other country, this would be devastating. But the depth in junior hockey is so deep that I think Canada is still going to be able to come out of this thing and believe they can win the gold medal. You know, that all said, the one area that there is some stability in, and that I don't think there's going to be a great deal of surprise in when it comes at least to the first 2 guys, is in goaltending.
Yeah, Don Hayes already come out and said that Mark Byzantine, the returning goaltender, is his guy. He's got to play himself basically out of that spot, which he hasn't done so far. From what most people believe, Tyler Bunns would be that secondary guy, and with the chance to move up the ladder as things go along. Wednesday morning, I guess we'll find out for sure. There's going to be a lot of phones ringing early in the morning. Some of the players' lifelong dreams are going to be dashed.
Well, that's the thing that makes this camp absolutely compelling when you go to it on a semi-regular basis, is that it's a dream come true when you get picked to this team to get to the camp and have a chance to make the team, and then 68 hours later at the ungodly hour of 6 o'clock in the morning, after you haven't been able to sleep all night, the phone rings, and you're devastated. And the routine there is you have a roommate, so you have to tell him what happened and shake his hand, and then you have to pack your bags, and then you have to tromp down to the coach's office and have it made official, and then you have to meet a bunch of bleary-eyed guys like you and I that are sitting there at 6:30 in the morning, when they got lumps in their throat and tears coming down their eyes, and I just think it's the saddest day in Canadian hockey.
Tomorrow they're already making cuts, so this is kind of your last day before the first round of cuts. So you know how important every skate is, and every time you're in front of the coaching staff, how important it is to impress. So there
are plenty of interesting scenarios with this thing. One is a situation with 1 out of 42 players. One of them is a college kid. Where is he sitting going into the last hours of this?
Yeah, Phil DiGiuseppe, one of 2 college players. Jaden Swartz being the other. He's a lock for this team, of course, being one of the returning players. But DiGiuseppe had a great first impression. He's coming in at a disadvantage because the coaches, the scouts, haven't seen him play as much, being that he's playing down in the States.
A lot of these guys are from CHL, so they're highly touted, and I'm just coming in from the NCAA, so I just got to work hard and do my best.
And you've got a kid that was up in the 2 kids that were up in the National Hockey League that got word they're coming down, showed up here, and one of them is a question mark.
Yeah, Connolly got hurt last night. He did tweet a few hours later that he's fine, just banged up a little bit. So he's going to take pregame for the red and white game and see if he can go.
And I guess the last question is just the big picture question with Don Hay talking to the media today. They were supposed to have 2 practices here, but elected to give the players the rest. What are his thoughts as we're counting down to that last hour?
Yeah, he just thought junior players don't do a lot of morning skates. That's something for the pros. They traveled all day Sunday to get here. He just figured the guys needed a rest.
Hopefully, by not going on the ice this morning, our focus for that was to give the guys a lot more energy. They did a lot yesterday. There's nerves involved. We want to see the best from them that they can give us.
So on Wednesday morning, it'll all come to a conclusion for this part of the camp. 22 hockey players possibly the addition of Jonathan Huberdeau is a question mark going forward. We'll head down the Trans-Canada Highway just out the window here and proceed to Banff, where they'll have a 6 or 7 day training camp, and then begin the countdown with 3 games, one in Calgary, one in Red Deer, and one on the 23rd up in Edmonton, before they play that opening game of the World Junior Hockey Championships on Boxing Day at the Rexall Place in Edmonton against Finland.